Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to Danganronpa. When we left off, we started the class trial for Chihiro, and we need to get justice for her. And so we're getting into the fact of who is this Genocide Jack person? Turns out Genocide Jack is Toko, but was it an actual Genocide Jack killing? Was it Byakuya using his knowledge about it to kind of twist things around to play his game? Was it someone else even, maybe? I don't know. That's what we're here to talk about a little bit more. So let's see what Makoto has to say here, because I'm actually a little lost.
Yeah.
So let's figure this out.
Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you?
You and your face.
I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said is the truth? No, I don't think so. There's something off
The
about
scene
what he
of the
said.
crime.
Yes.
That's right.
You say you
She was killed in the
Chihiro
boys'
girls'
locker room.
Yeah.
right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing.
Jesus.
What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
Why?
She
'Cause
was
it's
found dead
not
in the girls' locker
to your
room.
liking?
There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
It was
Well,
moved.
I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
Uh-huh.
The rest of the murder scene?
Oh, he's sweating.
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Oh, we do.
I believe I do.
The carpet and the
Hey,
poster.
Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up until now, maybe Byakuya never realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Oh, we'll show you.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys and girls' locker room. That would be... Well, I mean, we could go with the carpets, but I would probably go with the 2 locker room posters, because
Yeah.
that's more specific of things that were obviously switched.
Especially with the blood.
Yeah.
The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big boobed supermodel.
Just hearing that.
But don't you think
Yeah.
that's kind of strange?
Oh, that's
Why
funny.
would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Goodness.
Meanwhile,
I mean,
the
probably,
boys' locker
but
room had
Makoto's just meanwhile.
a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
the coffee
You're
stain.
referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
He's like, what the fuck?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
Not
No,
scrubbed.
it's not that the stain was scrubbed away.
It was moved.
It was moved.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ding dong.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the bloodstained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By
Yep.
doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
Yep.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but Why would the culprit bother doing that?
Probably wasn't expecting to find Chihiro in the boys' locker room.
Yeah.
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room...
And there's also the fact that if it was Genocide Jill... Yeah, or Genocide Jill. Well, she called herself Genocide Jill.
Yeah.
But if it was Toko, then Toko would only have access to the women's locker room.
Uh-huh.
So there's also that to keep in mind.
Then
Yep.
how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
About that.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Oh boy, okay.
I highly doubt that.
Look at you being useful. Maybe.
I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Because there were the handbooks of the
Yeah.
dead students.
Let's see what we got here. Broken knee handbook,
Yeah.
so we've got that to go with.
I don't remember who it belonged to.
It was
Leon.
off, so we don't have anyone that we know that belonged to.
Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah, I got it!
Yes?
She must have hacked her e-handbook.
What?
She
I'll
was
wait.
the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Okay, that's an
She
oh,
had
whoops,
that.
didn't even touch
She
that
could
one.
Get into the boys' locker room, no problem.
Okay, so theoretically, if Chihiro was able to use Leon's handbook, she could get in the boys' locker
Leon's
room.
handbook is the one that was broken.
But if you found Leon's handbook in the main hall, then there's no doubt that it was.
It was broken.
In which case, you say that she used it? Yeah, so we'll go ahead and
Really possible?
She must have hacked. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
All right, was there any
Huh?
bad
What thing?
stuff here when he
The
talks?
laughing from her.
Leon's handbook, of
I missed it.
course.
Oh my god, what did...
I hate.
She could get into the boys'
Oh
locker room,
man,
no
it's
problem.
do. Okay,
Dude,
let's
the sped up voices.
Could Chihiro really...
Ah, she must have hacked. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have.
No, I don't. She used the thing.
Huh?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook. Of
let's do the thing before it goes away.
Nice.
No, that's wrong.
Because Leon's handbook is broken.
Okay. I thought we didn't know whose was
I don't
broken,
think
but
Chihiro
No, because the
used
other
Leon's
one's turned
handbook.
on.
that's true.
The
Well, we
other,
only
the other names. It's like here's Junko's, here's Sayaka's.
true. I guess we're just making the assumption that could have been hers as well. But anyways, let's get them going through.
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
See?
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
So actually, in that way, then it would just really solidify our theory.
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Thanks for piping in.
Of
Yeah.
course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring. So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook... Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it? Really? So I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second.
Hey, Kyoko coming in.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So,
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other
Yeah.
way she could have gained access.
I'm gonna be honest, because we're pretty much in depth with the fact that she's like some kind of investigator or something, so she checks everything. I bet when she was checking the body, she kind of went, uh-oh. Huh, that's not what's supposed to be there. And then she was like, oh, questions have been
like,
answered a little bit.
If you like try to, you know, pat down her body.
Yeah, and I remember they made a point where they even put a point in the dialogue when she said for us to check, where Makoto was just like, I can't check all over. There are lines I can't cross. So he wasn't even remotely close to checking the parts they would need to figure out that.
And she said, hey, you need to look at the body closer.
Yeah, and I'm sure that she did, because I bet she didn't care at all in the first place anyways. So.
What?
Oops, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah,
A
you
button.
did.
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting?
He's like, really?
Played like a fiddle, buddy.
Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
This is
Never thought I'd hear that.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations.
Yeah.
So, shall we go?
Plot twist.
Oh,
Everyone's
boy.
gonna
So
freak.
before you even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We'd headed off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was...
The body. Yep.
Oh boy.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Uh-oh. You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Take your time, I'll wait.
Examine her carefully? Like using
Oh yeah.
our hands?
I want you to do it, buddy. I want you to do it, okay?
No way.
Okay, you back down.
Well, it's a dead body.
Probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl on girl action? Is that what you two are about?
Bro.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Oh boy.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura began to quickly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
Well,
What is it? Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is...
Is what?
a boy.
A boy!
There it is.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
It's a very interesting reaction to that.
I'm waiting for the shock. Yeah.
There it is.
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Called it.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Jesus.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting.
He's like, oh, you didn't know? Then yeah, that's
Now
exciting.
let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
I know they're the writers of the game, but
Apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial.
I don't just want to assume that Chihiro was a quote-unquote cross-dresser.
Yeah.
It's just sweet. No one mess with my girl like that.
We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Unless there were nefarious deeds in there, in which case that might be a little rough, but
Yes, well,
I'm gonna go with the benefit of the
I don't know
doubt.
his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
I was shy of it. To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. Thought it never even crossed my mind.
Because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
Yeah.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating
Just
situation.
freaking out over there.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This
Why
has
is he
become
like
very
this?
Interesting indeed.
Just makes it more confusing.
Is it just to throw us off?
I have no idea, man.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
I don't know.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What?
But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting,
Maybe that's
it
why.
makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder.
That's a good point.
At least, that's how I see it.
But that could have been his only option.
Yeah.
To hang it up.
Or he's
And
just
Byakuya,
mind fucking
when you
us.
found out
Yeah.
the murder took place in the boys'
Just
locker
saying.
room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
Even if he's not the killer, he's still an asshole.
Yeah.
And I want to watch him die.
I am not the culprit.
Well,
I
of
just
course you'd
happened
say
to
that.
come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
What were you doing in the girls' locker room?
Yeah.
You fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now.
Swear,
I'm telling you
you
the truth.
pussy.
But why?
Find it very hard to believe.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
The only thing that would make sense about any of this, of if he was to have, found the body, number one question, why you went into the girls' locker room in the first place. That makes you even worse of a human being if you didn't know something was going on. But to then, find the crime scene and then make it look like Genocide Jack did it, was it just to spice up the game and make it more interesting.
And just to see how Makoto would react and deal
or
with
just
it.
how people would react in general to
Yeah.
be interested in how, like, just to throw us for a fucking loop because you're an asshole.
Oh
Anyways.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
Absolutely not.
You're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility.
Especially
Not
considering
wrong.
what the consequences are.
Yes.
Because if we're wrong,
Yeah.
we all die here.
Exactly.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Why are you the one getting defensive? I would think, like, I was instantly thinking, like, who's the character that's going to interject on this?
Yeah.
But you're the moral compass. It's literally wrong for your character to murder someone.
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
I just don't like you. Get off my screen.
Yeah.
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer's able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means... I mean, that would have to mark it down to the killer being a guy if it was in the men's locker room. The boys'
Yeah.
locker room.
But what about the handbook situation?
They could have used that to switch the scene to the girls' locker room.
True.
They would need someone else's because they couldn't use Chihiro's handbook because Chihiro's handbook wouldn't have worked. So they had to go get another one to do
That's
it.
right,
So
that's right.
that's what it should mean.
Alright.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was in the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own.
Yeah.
In other words, it had to have been a guy. That's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Okay, let's see what kind of truth bolts we got here. Celeste's account. And that was the gym bag and all
With
coming
the
from the...
tracksuit.
Yeah.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point.
Oh.
Even that might be enough for now.
Celeste saw.
Yeah. All we need right now is
Don't hit the thing! God damn it! You got to every time! Every time! It's over. It's
You
all
wanna know
over.
who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
Well, that could also be it,
It's
though,
not
too.
Like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man. Game over.
Game
Didn't
over,
you
man.
just make that reference?
I might have. Okay, so, no, as a matter of fact, there is an eyewitness accounting regarding Chihiro. She has more information about that.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who? Well,
If
nobody can.
I'm sure if someone saw the kill.
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
Here
at
we
some
go.
point.
Here we go.
all we need
Well,
right
wait,
now
no,
is any
that
kind
wouldn't
of
be it.
info.
It would be no one else saw her.
It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer.
Bam!
No, that's wrong.
There
you
we
think
go.
it's to that, really? Oh, well.
Yeah, because they were saying that only the killer saw it,
I
but that's
believe
not true.
Someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this.
Makoto.
The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry
Okay.
up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse.
Here's the
I
account.
saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
That is true, yeah.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
What was it again?
Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry. Oh, yeah.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
No!
What?
You remember who was going to, who was, it's not Mondo, right?
What?
Because Mondo was the one talking about how, where is it at? Because we literally got it as a truth bullet.
We haven't used Mondo's account yet.
Chihiro told anyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assuming the due to her inferior complex of being weak, she admired her strength more than anything else. Mondo is another person that knew about the weakness thing and talked about it.
No.
No. This can't be. I'm going to assume that's not a truth here.
No.
I'm gonna move forward.
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
I wonder why.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Couldn't get in.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
No, Kyoko, don't say that.
You know who the killer is.
Kyoko, don't say that, Kyoko.
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the
Wait,
killer
so it's that
disposed
part.
of.
I'm trying to,
Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
that part I'm unsure on. The track jacket. Okay. I don't think there's anything in the truth bullets about that. Not anything that stands out. There's also... Well, I was just talking about staying away and getting along with the male classmates.
Yeah.
No. Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
Tell me about it, please.
She said the jacket was blue.
Just a normal
Yeah.
duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
I remember Celeste said it was blue.
Yeah. Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer?
But how's
Somehow,
a blue jacket relate to
It's
anybody?
really hard to believe. Huh. Let's see what we got here. So our
Byakuya
bullet
certainly
is-
did make this intriguing.
Yeah, Celeste account.
Not intriguing, more like complicated as
First of
hell.
all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
Uh-huh.
That's a good, yeah.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
Yes.
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
Okay. Nothing stood out.
No one else
What he just
knew
said without even realizing it.
that Celeste saw that he had a blue track jacket. No one else knows that. Celeste didn't even mention the
Alright.
color yet, but Mondo did, which worries me. That worries me a lot.
Yeah.
I
you heard
think
him
we're gonna
out.
have to put Chihiro's account to blue track jacket.
That's what I think.
Oh, Mondo, no, it's not you, is it?
Because, oh man, she's right. What he just said now was really odd. How did he know something like that?
See? Oh.
Oh, this sucks. Oh, that sucks.
So next they have why
No.
did you choose?
What do you mean, the specific?
I got it! It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what's your...
The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him.
Oh, no.
Mondo, please,
No,
man. I thought you were cool.
Same.
What's the story behind all this?
Mondo, what did you just say?
Oh, no.
What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said,
Oh, no. Yeah, she never said what color, but she told
Yeah.
us the color.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, damn it.
No, I'm gonna cry.
Do you want to read this
cry.
line? Oh, Mondo, god damn it.
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then I assume he headed off to exercise.
she never said anything about the jacket's color.
No, she
So why did
didn't.
you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
Oh.
What are you? You just...
No.
Celeste,
No, 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 no,
was
no, no,
Chihiro's
no, no,
tracksuit?
no. This is the worst case.
This sucks.
I hate this case.
This sucks.
It was blue?
Oh, no, 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 no.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one
Yeah,
I told
was-
about any
was
of this
us.
was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
This sucks.
Because
No.
I just...
No.
saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
Yeah, right. He saw
The
them right.
bros are getting
right,
together.
Right. He saw.
Can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Cherry? I was just gonna say,
Are you talking about
Oh, everyone has nicknames.
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No,
Oh.
that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed her jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Oh,
It
no.
would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
Really?
Why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Because I hate him. Well, we don't right now, but it's we're on the teetering edge apparently. The way he was acting? I mean, there's no health bar or time around here, so it's almost just kind of a case of picking which one it is. I'll go with the way he was acting at first, but if not, then I'm sure she'll tell us what it actually was.
Nope.
That seemed like it was not it.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happen to refer to him as dude.
I didn't
Once
notice
I
that.
determined that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
We need to pay closer attention to
Yeah.
every single word said apparently now, because
Apparently.
Christ.
Kyoko's on it. Yeah.
Tiny detail?
I want her by my side every day of this torturous hellhole.
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful.
You're one to talk.
Yeah.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, no.
Was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
There's got to be a bigger reason for it.
I didn't kill anyone. You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that.
No.
This is a false accusation.
And of course he's like, hey,
true.
dude,
Yeah.
we're
Reasoning
bros.
on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
What do you want about?
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
What?
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found
He actually
some
did.
evidence?
Yeah, watch this be like super important.
Oh.
What kind of evidence?
Watch him be useful as a human being.
I
can't believe
really,
I'm gonna say
I really
that.
hope it's not Mondo.
Like, all my assumptions
I don't want it to be him.
Listen.
I really don't want it to.
Like, if it turns out to be Mondo, I'm glad I didn't decide to make that list yet of like who is going to be right or wrong. My list would have been fucked at this point if this is the way things go. I would be like, I've made too many assumptions
If
about
it's
this game
him,
that's
dude,
wrong.
I don't want to watch him die.
It's gonna depend on the context of what happened, though. That's the big thing, is the context of what's going on.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Even
It's
if
gonna be the
not,
most relevant thing in the
yeah.
case when you say that.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... Here it is.
What is
Wait,
it? The
because
laptop.
well, no, that's an e-handbook. I think that's Chihiro's that was missing.
What do you have there?
E-handbooks are blue.
It happens to be
Oh.
an e-handbook.
My bad.
I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
I just remember that the laptop was
You
missing.
found on the ground. On the ground, right? It must belong to...
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime.
It was, yeah.
Yep.
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence
But you
after
can't
the murder.
break it. It has a weakness.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
They're not.
You're right. They're not.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Oh, he's not gonna like that.
Ooh. Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
That's also true.
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible explanation. By hitting its weak point. I mean, he said you can't hack it because it has an alarm, so I guess maybe exploiting a bug, which a programmer could do.
Yeah. But
I think that's what
why
it
would
has to
Chihiro's be broken too?
I don't know, but he's already kind of put forward the point that you can't break it by physical means. And you can't actually, like, legitimately
Because I
hack
remember
it.
he said that it, like,
It's indestructible, and if you try and break into it, like, to
alarm
do
goes
something,
off.
the alarm goes off, so it has to be a bug.
alright.
Exploiting it. Oh, nope,
Nope.
he's not speaking, so it must be wrong. Maybe some kind of bug you can exploit. Too bad for you, but those things have been debugged at bet to hell and back. We couldn't afford a recall. I guess you'd leave a possibility of the bug then.
Shoot.
I really say I embarrassed
Ooh.
myself, Al.
First time that's happened.
So maybe by hacking it then? I'll go back to that one then. What?
It was weak point. That's what I thought it was.
That just seemed so... Okay, well, man, we'll get our health back eventually, so... By hitting its weak point. Yeah, it goes up half a heart every time we get something right, so...
The handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
He did? Oh.
You remember that?
No.
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was. But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and 2 of them broke in quick succession,
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
He's not just gonna tell us.
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Then make it a new rule.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is...
A bike!
When it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will
No!
and totally break!
No, Mondo!
But... Oh, do you know what? It wasn't Leon's book that was broken. It was Mondo's that we found in the lobby. But then, how did... But then Chihiro's is the weird one in that context, too.
Oh, no.
Because how would Chihiro's have gotten broken?
I don't know.
Huh. Would that mean that... Huh. Well,
Oh, no.
I think on this bombshell, we're gonna have to leave this off for next time.
No, no.
Oh man, this ain't looking good for Mondo at all.
I'm like, maybe it's Taka?
It's like, maybe Taka did it. The moral compass did it.
Yeah,
the
dude,
moral compass where it's not possible that he should be able to kill someone did it.
I'm grasping desperately here.
I know.
Oh, no.
Man, this whole case has flipped their fucking circuits.
I hate this. Why do I have to like Mondo?
I know, right?